Hi everybody, it's Elizabeth with the Art of Cherishing Home, and today I'm going to be making some soup. I really want chicken and dumpling soup. So first off, if you're looking at this and going, what the heck are you making, Elizabeth? It is called the vegetable broth. So basically I've saved all of my scraps from my vegetables for this specific reason. So I'm going to take out all of the scraps eventually, and I'm just going to let this continue to boil so that the broth becomes very rich and nutrient dense. I've already peeled 4 carrots and 3 potatoes. I'm going to go ahead and chop these up really quick off camera. The carrots are done. I'm going to set this to the side. I'm going to chop up the potatoes into cubes. So I went ahead, chopped them up, cubed them into like smaller bite-sized pieces, and I just have water so it doesn't brown. I have a medium-sized onion that I'm going to dice up. Now that I have the onions chopped up, I'm going to put it to the side. So I'm going to chop up the cloves of garlic and set it to the side. I'm going to set this to the side. Now I'm going to strain out all of the vegetable peels so that I just have the broth. For this portion of the video, I will be using the Sprouts Eat Easy Drop Dumplings recipe. So I am going to take 2 cups of all-purpose flour. This is the second cup. In it goes. So I'm going to put 4 teaspoons of baking powder into the 2 cups of flour. One, 2, 3, and 4. Now I'm going to take 1 teaspoon of sea salt and put it into my flour and baking powder mixture. Okay, in the salt goes. I'm going to dry mix all of the ingredients before I add in the milk. So I have 2% milk. I'm going to put 1 cup of milk into my dry mixture. This makes me think of my great-grandma Baker, who made really good chicken and dumpling soup. I'm gonna go ahead and mix this. I know I need to let this rest. That's why I'm making it ahead, so that way when the time is ready to throw the mixture into the soup, that it can fluff up and be airy. I know I probably should have switched out my attachment to the dough one, but I forgot. So use the dough attachment and not the mixer attachment so you don't have your KitchenAid bouncing up and down. I'm gonna let this rest now. So I took 3 thin chicken breasts and I cubed them up because my husband does not like shredded chicken and he actively gags when there's shredded chicken. So cubed it is. P.S. I also have celery that has been frozen and chopped up previously that I'm going to add to the soup. I'm busting out the Dutch oven for this, and I am using olive oil. I'm going to pour some olive oil in it, heat up the olive oil until I smell it. That's how I know that the olive oil is warm and ready to use. While that's heating up, I'm going to season my chicken on the cutting board. I'm going to start off with pepper. I ran out of my salt. I used it all up. So I had to grind some salt. So I'm going to add salt on top of the chicken next. I'm going to add some tarragon on top of the chicken as well. I smell my olive oil, so I'm going to add in my onion and garlic. I'm going to add some ground thyme, or thyme, however you want to say it, and some celery seed on top of the chicken. This is what my chicken looks like. I am going to use tongs to put it into my Dutch oven. I'm gonna let my onion and garlic sweat. I'm gonna add salt and pepper to it. Salt and pepper is to taste. I'm gonna give this a good mix. Let it cook for a little bit more before I add my chicken. Now that my onions have sweated a little bit, I'm gonna add in more aromatics. I'm gonna add in my carrots. I'm gonna go ahead with my chopped celery in. I'm going to add in my celery seed, my ground thyme, and my tarragon. And I measured that with my heart because I can. I'm going to add in my chicken now. So now I think I need to add a little bit more seasoning because I am seasoning as we go. We're adding layers, and I'm going to go ahead and mix this. So as I'm making this, it's reminding me of my great-grandma baker, and my mom would tell me stories about her. Now, let me just tell you, she was a baddie. And I mean this in the best way, as in, she did not give a flying F about anything or anyone. And she would do some crazy stuff. And she had a bad temper, right? So, I never met my great-grandpa baker, but when I met my great-grandmother, she had a boyfriend, and his name was Sam. And she had a type, and it was 6'3", blonde, blue-eyed, white guys. And she is like 4'6", very tan, very Hispanic looking. So she was very small. And I guess one time, Sam made her really, really mad. So she grabbed a hatchet and she chased him all over the yard with it. You know what? I strive to be like my great-grandma baker a little bit every day. And you think that Sam was not having the time of his life, because this man, he would have a twinkle in his eye and he would just irritate her. And you know, I think he loved it. I think he loved that she wouldn't take his crap and she gave it back. So, you know, I'm gonna go ahead and let my chicken brown. I think it's brown enough. I'm gonna go ahead and add in my potatoes. I'm gonna go ahead and add in the vegetable broth. This is what my soup looks like right now. I'm gonna let the potatoes and the other vegetables cook through. I will be tasting the broth to see if I need to add any more salt or pepper or any other seasonings. I added more salt and pepper and tarragon. I'm going to put the lid on and cook this. So I'm gonna cover it. I'm gonna turn the heat down so it doesn't burn. I'm gonna put it to 3 and I'm gonna pop some cookies into my oven. I'm going to add in the dough later. I want to make sure that the vegetables are thoroughly cooked before I add in the dumplings, just because if you add them in too early, then they break down. So I want to time it just right. My potato is now soft enough to where I can put a spoon through it. So I'm going to add in my dumpling batter. Gonna add it in and keep going. This is what it looks like. Now I'm going to put my lid back on so that it can cook. I flipped them over and gave the bottom a stir because I don't want the soup to stick to the bottom. And I'm going to keep doing that until I think the dumplings are fully cooked and recover. Once you know for a fact that your dumplings are thoroughly cooked, let me just double check because this is a big dumpling. Let's see if this is cooked all the way through. Yeah, that's cooked all the way through. So we're good on this. I'm going to turn it off. I hope you like and subscribe, and have a wonderful day. Bye!